Her 3-year-old son woke up with swollen eyes, so she took him to the hospital, assuming it was simply an allergic reaction. Well, it wasn't. Shannon Cole's son, Shawn, had kidney disease, and those pictures there, that's the annual kidney march that she does every year. They're with me all here this morning, along with Dr. Julian Midgley from the Children's Hospital, and we're going to talk about this journey that you've been on. Shannon, first of all, tell me what that was like for you when you first took him in. You thought it was just an allergic reaction.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. We had no idea, and when they came out and told us that he had a kidney disease, I assumed that they had the wrong patient.
I'm sure so he went in with these swollen eyes, is that right?
Yeah, a couple of days before he had a little bit of swollen in his eyes, and we thought, just give him some Benadryl, it's just an allergic reaction. So we were shocked. It was terrifying.
Absolutely. And then, of course, he ends up with kidney disease and a diagnosis of nephrotic syndrome. And he spent so much time in the hospital. What was that like for you guys as a family?
It was very scary. Any time he had a cold or the flu, it was so much more than the average child. And because he was on such high doses of prednisone, it masked any symptoms that he had. So he was very, very sick by the time we knew that there was something wrong. So
yeah, absolutely. He even spent time in isolation. We saw the pictures there where you had to go in with masks. And wow, what a scary time. You had Dr. Midgley on your team, though, which is wonderful. Dr. Midgley, I know you spent a lot of time with Shawn when he was in isolation, really helping him through that. Tell us a little bit about what Shawn has specifically.
It's a condition called nephrotic syndrome, and the kidneys usually filter waste products out but keep the good things in the bloodstream. But in nephrotic syndrome, the filters let lots and lots of protein out in the urine, and that leads to low protein levels in the blood, and that leads to swelling. And it can be rather scary because most parents, just about every parent, has never heard about this before.
Sure. And what does that mean for Shawn in terms of how his body functions?
Well, fortunately, Shawn's now in remission for many years.
He looks great.
But when you have nephrotic syndrome, when the protein is coming out, the circulation is decreased, your kidney function can be down, you lose useful proteins in the urine which can fight infection, and you take these medications which have their own adverse effects too. So it is scary.
Absolutely, it's scary. But you've got things like the Kidney March that brings a lot of these families together that know what you're dealing with. Tell us a little bit about the Kidney March and why you walk every year, Shannon.
I walk for my son and for every other family that goes through this, and hopefully to find a cure, to raise money, promote organ donation. And it's a terrifying thing to go through, so if we can find a cure soon, that would be amazing.
Yeah. What does this research mean for the doctors and researchers working on kidney disease?
Well, Susan Samuel at the Children's Hospital in Calgary is actively working on research for nephrotic syndrome across the country. She's enrolling lots of children into studies to try and find out why it happens, but more importantly, which medications are the best for patients, a particular patient to use, because we've got a few medications, we don't really know which one to choose, and research needs money, and when we find out how to treat children better, they'll have a better time.
Absolutely. You have been walking since day one, Dr. Midgley. Tell us why you walk.
Well, I actually walk because it's kind of fun. And I know it sounds strange, 100 kilometres, but seriously, meeting the people every year, and you know, in the first few years there were people there walking on dialysis. They literally are on dialysis and they're doing walking, and later on you see them and they're walking now with a kidney transplant. So you meet lots and lots of people, you hear their stories, and you realise what you're working towards and how the Kidney Foundation of Canada supports them.
No kidding. And it is an incredible journey. How long is it?
It's 100 kilometers,
100
3
kilometers in 3 days. Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Shawn, you're looking really well these days. How do you feel?
Good.
Pretty good?
Yeah.
What is it like when you see those pictures of you in the hospital?
I don't really.
Is it a bit weird?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for coming in, Shawn. I'm glad to see you doing so well. Have a wonderful march, and we hope it's incredibly successful. And thank you so much for you all coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. We've got the board to bring up, and we can tell everybody about the march. It's coming up in a couple of weeks. It's September 8th to the 10th. And if you want more information, you can just go to kidneymarch.ca. Thanks again for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.